right, what's going on, everybody? FOVOS land, Fortress of Voiceover Solitude. We have another exciting guest for you. That's right. And this time we're changing pace a little bit. We're not just going to focus on voiceover, but more about running a business. There's stressors that are all around the world that we have to deal with every single day. And Caryn, our guest, she is no stranger to this. When she was 36 years old, she had a revelation, so to speak, right, Caryn? And she decided to try some different techniques, and one of them is grounding. And you know, we got to stay on top of our game, and we're going to do that today. Grounded Voices. This is the month of April, and we're going to do it right, Caryn. Thank you for joining us here with the Fortress of Voiceover Solitude. And why don't you talk about your story a little bit and talk about like maybe different strategies you deal with and manage when you are running your business?
Wonderful. I would love to do that. And thanks for the opportunity, Brad, because I really feel strongly, let's put it passionately, about stress and how it affects people and how it affects the body. So when I was 36, I had 3 small children. My marriage was in really bad shape. And I ended up in the hospital for 8 days. My nutrition was way off. I didn't know what I know now. That came later. And I was told I would be sick with a debilitating intestinal disorder for the rest of my life. And without getting graphic, you've seen those commercials with the porta potty on the back of the vehicle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was pretty much what my life was going to be like. And I'm a little bit rebellious, and I'm also determined, and I have a strong belief that we can get well.
And you're young. 36 is young.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know about what anybody else's thoughts are. That's like that had to shake you up a little bit, right? I mean, you're 36 years old.
Well, when I was in the hospital, I told the nurses, I don't want any visitors. When we use our intuition, and that's really important, when we use our gut feeling, we know what's good for us. That actually helps counteract the stress. Okay. And so she put a note on my door and closed the door, and it said, all visitors check in at the nurses station. I didn't have my kids there. My estranged husband didn't come. His parents actually were angry with me. His mother was, because I wouldn't let her come and visit. It's like, how sick is that?
Yeah, I mean, you got to do what's right for you.
I spent that 8 days. And of course, I had people coming in and out and taking blood. And, I had a nutritionist.
8 days is a long time.
It is. It is. I had a nutritionist work with me. And at that point, I was shifting towards natural health. And I would not eat the hospital food. And the nutritionist says, what do you eat? And she said, where do you shop? And I told her, and she actually went to where I shop, which is at a natural foods co-op.
Mm-hmm.
And she bought the foods that I would eat. And it was like, and the insurance company paid for it. It was amazing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's very different than insurance companies nowadays, of course, but
Yeah.
I was very fortunate at the time. Anyway, so I got out of the hospital, and my husband thought he was going to stay. And I said, nope, you can leave. He said, you can't manage on your own. And I said, watch me.
Bullshit, watch me.
I told you I'm determined and I'm rebellious. Okay. I knew what the problem was. And I had told God when I was in the hospital, if you help me find the way to get well, I will help anybody I can. And that's why I do what I do now, because I have searched and searched and searched, and I have found answers. Now, are you going to be perfectly healthy all the time? Nope.
No.
However, we all need tools in our tool bags. Teachers, they talk about this. They have tools in their tool bag to deal with the kids. And we all have to have those tools in our tool bags. All right.
That takes time, though, right? That takes time to figure out what they are.
It does. So it took me a long time. If you think about that, there was no internet, okay, let alone Google. All right.
Yeah.
I had to research everything on my own.
Microfiche?
What?
Microfiche? Remember that?
Yes.
It's like, no, I couldn't do that.
The
Again,
library, though, right? You had to go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I started learning. I started talking to people. The first thing I did was I went to a personal, and this is the first answer I got from God. The first thing was the emotional connection with physical health. Isn't that odd? Most people don't look at it that way.
Yeah.
And that was the first answer. And I found a book. And at that workshop, it was a 2-day workshop, and she suggests reading through the book and then go back and doing the exercises. I'm always in a hurry. My mentor used to tell me that.
Yeah.
And so I read.
I understand that.
The most I could read at one time was 4 pages. And then I'd have to stop and process everything. Okay, today we don't have time to process everything because life is so much faster now than it was when I was ill and I was in my 30s.
Super multitasking. That's what it's about nowadays.
Yeah, it's terrible. And so what I've done, actually, I've slowed life down for myself. I have one event that I do every day. Okay. When I say one event that I do every day, it's not the same event. Like today, I'm doing the podcast. This morning, I actually did a second one. One of the things that I've noticed that's holding me back in my business is Canva, knowing Canva. So I worked with the Small Business Development Center. So as an entrepreneur myself, I have to watch my budget. Okay. I have to watch my finances.
Of course.
The Small Business Development Center, many cities have it. And so I use them to help me learn what I can do, to learn the internet, to learn how to set up a website, to learn, what else did they teach me? Facebook, LinkedIn, anything that I want, they will help support me.
The Small Business Development Center?
Yes.
So can they teach you how to run ads on Facebook?
I don't know. I haven't approached them with that one.
Yeah. SEO?
Yeah, I think they will. The one of the women I've worked with,
interesting.
Yeah, she does SEO. Okay. But anyway, so I have searched for tools and I have this philosophy, okay? People do things that are simple to do, easy to understand, cost effective, time efficient, organized, fast, and fun. If it doesn't meet those criteria, they aren't doing it.
Right.
So I've looked for shortcuts that are financially feasible and that are easy for me to understand. If it's not easy, then I go to the Small Business Development Center, or I ask a friend. Brad, you've helped me out, several times.
And you've helped me out as well, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so, so the first thing I found was the emotional connection with physical health. So for those of you who are watching the replay, if you have a paper and pencil or paper and pen handy, and Big Jim and Brad, you can do this too. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate yourself with your level of stress in the mind category? So do you meditate? Do you read books? Do you, what else?
Exercise.
Do you journal? Okay. So those kinds of things. Rate your stress level. Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10. And, depending on where you are in your life at any given point in time, it'll
That's
fluctuate.
what I was about to say. It's probably like today because I'm not feeling well, and I wasn't feeling well over the weekend. My,
Yeah.
s- I feel like my stress is like at an 8, and I do all the writing positive affirmations. I work out, I play guitar to release stress. I do a lot of things, but one thing could throw you off balance,
Oh yeah.
and it just sends a ripple effect. Because a week prior, I was like super confident, had full of energy, happy, and connecting with people, and it's like this week I'm like, oh no. I have a customer that I have to do a voiceover for, and I feel like crap.
Yeah,
Because in
exactly.
voiceover, you gotta
It,
feel good. You
it's
gotta
hard
feel
to
good to
think
do it.
clearly when you
Right,
don't feel well.
right.
Okay. And so that's the emotional stress level. So the next category is physical.
Mm,
So I mentioned my nutrition was way off, not because I wasn't being mindful. Okay. I didn't know any better. And that's part of the problem. And I'm going to tell you right now, the biggest offenders, and please feel free to take notes during this because this is really important. Sugar in your diet,
hmm
white flour, anything that's refined. Okay. Even raw sugar. Okay. I don't agree with it. Honey, it's a sweetener. It creates um, all kinds of gut problems, which are fatty liver, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Um, and
That's interesting.
I'm a former dental hygienist. Yes, it will destroy your teeth. And
Honeywell, huh?
yeah, uh-huh.
Even
Oh
like
yeah,
that, like they tell you to go get the local honey.
raw
Doesn't matter.
honey. Yeah, it's raw honey. But if you've already got a problem, it will exacerbate it. And
Oh wow.
most of the time, people have a problem because in our society, so we're looking for things to make us happy. Sugar gives us a high. Anything sweet will give us a high. And
hmm
so it's overdone. People
Dopamine.
don't regulate themselves exactly. And
Yeah.
when we're under stress, emotional stress, or physical stress for that matter, okay, we want to feel better. That's innate. And if we don't have something to help us feel better, we
hmm
get depressed.
Yeah,
And then we're in this cycle. It's like,
like
it's
a
not
yeah.
fun, folks. So,
Yeah,
all
absolutely.
right, so that's the physical stress. All right. Then there's relationship stress. I mentioned that I was on the verge of a divorce,
Yeah.
emotional stress, physical stress. And it's amazing when the relationships aren't good. Usually the boundaries aren't good either. Okay. So in my era, and probably many others, we didn't know boundaries. We didn't have any. All kids growing up, well, I shouldn't say all, my grandkids two of my grandkids seem to know them. They know what they can handle. Okay, those are boundaries. My 4-year-old granddaughter comes home from school, goes right down to their playroom, and she says she needs space. She does it on her own.
That's good.
Most of the time, adults don't do that. Our work pushes us and we have to get it done, especially if we're working for an employer. But now getting to the entrepreneurial aspect of it,
hmm
we push ourselves because we know what our financial needs are, and we get into the emotional aspect of it, which is desperation. It's worry, it's nervousness, okay? Anxiety. And then again, we get into the depression. So we get into these cycles again.
Yeah.
And
And fear of the unknown as well with your business too, like
exactly,
certain
Leads to
opportunities.
analysis
uncertainty.
paralysis.
And you know what?
hmm
Since COVID, people don't do well with uncertainty.
Right.
Okay. Because
hmm
it like pulled the rug out of us, but it pulled the rug out of the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
And so that uncertainty is really, it turns everything topsy-turvy. And anyway, so relationships are affected. Our relationship with ourself is affected too. And that's the one that comes first. That's the most important one. And when we don't have a good relationship with ourselves, how can we have a good relationship with anybody else?
Amen
So
to
look at
that.
how, exactly, look at how we were parented. What are some of the messages? All right, and I'll get into the self-talk bit in a little bit.
Yeah.
And then there is societal stress. Okay. When we don't have a good relationship with ourselves or anybody else, or certain key people in our lives,
Mhm.
it weighs on us. We can't give to society. And that's what we're here
Yeah.
for. That's what we're supposed to do.
I think too with social media too, you might, you see all these people like, hey, I'm having the greatest day. Hey, oh, every day is a great day. And they only post in all their good stuff. And meanwhile, like if you're in a place where you're not feeling all that great or
Yeah.
positive, that puts you in a kind of a downhill spiral too, as well. Because if you're stuck on, you're addicted to these phones, like a lot of people are, like we all are.
Yeah.
Let's just face the facts. Um, you got to kind of limit yourself there as well because you
Yeah.
don't want to get put in that
I,
void.
I don't go anywhere without my phone. It's
Yeah,
just,
that's another stress too, though, Karen. You
it is.
can't escape.
Yeah.
Somebody can always contact you.
Well,
It's,
what I do, and here's another trick. Okay. I turn the ringer off.
yeah, I do that a lot.
Okay. That's a boundary. This is my self-care time. And this is one of the things I specialize in, self-care. It's more than stress management. It's stress care and self-care.
Yeah.
Because when we self-care, okay, we can diminish the amount of stress that affects us physically and emotionally.
And it
And
sends a
then,
chain reaction across all the other issues that you have as well, like you were just
exactly,
talking about.
exactly. And then there's financial stress.
Mm.
That's the big one. So the two that people experience the most are health and finances. Those are off balance. So rate yourself 1 to 10 in each of those categories. And you can do that on a daily basis. And you can
Oh,
see
I'm
where
sorry.
you are. Go ahead, Big Jim.
No, I was gonna say to me, it's all cause and effect. I mean, like when we talk about phones, I've got such debilitating anxiety from PTSD that I 90% of the time I don't want to be around. I won't be around anybody, even my kids. It's even just to hear. I don't even all the medication. I don't know. Just it's all jacked up, but it kind of trickles down.
Mm-hmm.
With all right now, I mean, facing eviction, to in the courts again. So it's just the stress mounts, and then the anxiety gets worse. It's just like I said, it's cause and effect. So if one's towards a 10, it seems like everything else, you know, like you said,
Yeah,
cycle.
yeah, exactly.
I hate it.
Exactly. And
And that's finances right there too. And
it
that's
is.
finances.
It is. And
But I
that
think
will
that's the
affect
most
everything.
stressful. You don't have money to put a roof over your head. That's like to me, outside of having a debilitating disease.
Which
Uh,
causes marital issue. That
right.
and it's
Everything.
just it's. But even yeah, you're right.
So so when we look at everything, you might see this squiggly line, okay? As far as your stress level. Pick a category that feels the best to you to start working on. Okay, one category. Because if you do more than one, guess what happens? You get
Nothing gets done.
overwhelmed and
Yeah.
you don't do anything. It causes people to freeze. And it's a type of a trauma, okay? And I've had PTSD from life and I've overcome it because I'm persistent and I'm stubborn. It's like, no, this isn't right. And so I have found the ways to overcome it. Now that's an emotional thing, but it affects all the other four categories.
It does.
Hmm.
It does. Yeah, it does. It's
Okay.
my hypervigilance. I can't turn that switch off. And the
Yeah.
problem is when society says, "Hey, settle the fuck down. You got to settle down." But then the
No.
survival part for years that I was in combat says, "Hey, you need to turn it on to stay alive."
Yes.
I mean, it's been what is this? Yeah,
Ever
19
since I've
years
known you.
since I've yeah, 19 years since my last combat mission. I mean, it's
Yeah.
been almost 2 decades. So
Yeah. That's a long time.
it's only gotten worse. And thank God I stopped drinking.
That's a big feat in and of itself. I
But
mean,
but
just does
then the
not,
anxiety
not,
got even
yeah.
higher with that because
Yeah.
what I was doing with the alcohol was trying to outrun my anxiety, and I haven't drank in over 5, almost 6 years, but then I had to face that anxiety, and that's when it quadrupled. I mean, yeah, I'm on medication the doctor's giving me, which it helps half, but it's just yeah. Anyway, like I said, I felt like Gen X. I just feel like I'm griping. It's
No, that's okay. So some of the physical signs other than that, okay, exhaustion, insomnia, lack of
Hmm.
focus, we mentioned, becoming less articulate, less stress. Let's the mind sending you signals that you're not operating in the right way. So those are those messages from childhood. You're doing it wrong. We've all had
Right.
parents like that, or grandparents, or
Hmm.
teachers. There's always been somebody and it makes us feel wrong. Our self-esteem goes down, our
Right.
self-concept goes down, and then we get into business, okay? And something doesn't turn out the way we want it to, right? And we're going, and this little voice in your head says, uh-oh, I did it wrong. And all
They,
you're
they
doing
didn't
is,
like me.
yeah, all you're doing is reinforcing
It's
that
funny.
little voice from childhood. And
Hmm.
there's a lot of information now about childhood trauma, and I agree with it. I experienced that myself. So yeah, it needs to be addressed when you're an adult in order to get past it and change things. So Brad, you were talking about being on Facebook and seeing everybody's doing fine, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to talk about gratitude. Okay.
Hmm.
Gratitude is one way to overcome that negative self-talk. And I go through this on a daily basis.
Oh yeah.
The last 5 years of my life has been very stressful, and it reached a crescendo a year ago. And I ended up moving from one side of Wisconsin to the other. I sold my condo. This was not my first choice.
No, that's a big
Somebody
change in
else was
life.
involved. Yeah, because somebody else was involved.
Hmm.
I can't change anybody else. All I can do is change myself.
Right.
And that's what I did. I changed my circumstances. I weighed everything. So I had lived here before and in this city. And 21 years ago now, I moved to the other side of Wisconsin. Beautiful area. It's a small city called La Crosse, and it's on the Mississippi River. And I loved it. But number one, it was not a good match for me anyway. It's very
Hmm.
quiet. I come from a big city. I was born in Chicago, raised there till I was 13. Then my family moved to Milwaukee. I have big city energy. That little city did not work well for me. Okay.
yes.
Hmm.
So you know
So
where Palatine is,
anyway,
huh?
uh, say
Uh,
that again.
I said, so you know where Palatine is then? My dad was
Oh,
stationed at
I know
Great
what
Lakes.
Palestine is. Sure, I've been there a number of
Yeah,
times.
yeah, by
I have,
Schaumburg, and
yep, I have a very good friend who lived in Palatine,
yeah,
and I used to drive
I went to the
back
middle
and
school
forth.
there for a year.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So, anyway, so I decided to move back to Milwaukee, and the apartment building that I chose, I had to choose on the internet.
Oh
Now,
yeah. It's like
talk about anxiety. It's like
mhm.
I was lucky my daughter-in-law came and looked at it. She said, "Oh yeah, that's great." Well, I get here and there is a 5G tower. I can walk to it. There are high tension wires. I can walk under those when I go for my walks around the property.
Yeah.
They put in new carpeting, and I'm extremely sensitive to all chemicals, especially new carpeting. And the heat in that particular apartment building or apartment was so bad in November. By November, my body couldn't handle stress anymore. So it was physical and emotional stress. And so I've been working with that since November because it's knocked me down a little bit.
Yeah.
And the good thing is it's revealed some imbalances that needed to be addressed. And so when we have imbalances that need to be addressed,
Hmm.
how do we deal with that? Gratitude is one way. Okay. So when we are in gratitude, sometimes people say, well, if they're really depressed, name one thing that you're grateful for. Okay. And they just go, oh, I don't know. And they stumble over it. And then they go, okay, well, I'm living in a house.
Yeah. How
Okay.
about waking up every day?
Some people don't care. They're at the point where they would rather not. They'd rather check out. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true, man.
That is, yeah.
And to me, that's a it's I mean the action. It's just I don't know. It's always been ridiculous, you know. I thought, you know, but yeah.
Very extreme, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's either
But it's you know, times are that shitty where you know. Anyway, yeah, keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So find one thing that you're grateful for. Okay. I'm grateful I have a place to sleep.
right.
Okay. I'm grateful I have food to eat. Some people don't have that. And you can see that on Facebook. There's reels about it. Okay.
Oh yeah, people are either addicted to heroin or like they're out on the streets living in cardboard boxes. You know, it's
Yep. Yep. So just one thing. Okay. And, for me, I have friends all over the country.
that's
They
what I'm grateful
supported me.
for.
Yeah.
I'm
They
grateful for
supported me.
this group.
Yeah. They
Mhm.
supported me for the last 5 years when I was going through what I was going through. And my business took a hit. And now I'm in the process of revitalizing that business.
So there's an example right there of don't quit.
Exactly. Determination. Where's your passion? Reignite yourself with your passion.
And you need patience
Yeah,
to not
absolutely.
quit.
I am not known for my patience. I'll be very honest with you. My mentor used to tease me about that. So
Yeah.
let's do some suggestions. Okay. Um, do you have a life coach? Talk to your life coach. Okay. And I know my daughter-in-law has done this. Okay. She's, you know, she actually quit a six-figure job working for a corporation. And she actually had two surgeries. She had her knees replaced. And
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
she had no intention of going back to that place. And so she gave him her notice, and she had an idea of what she wanted to do. So she and my son has his own business. He was just building it because they moved from Florida back to Milwaukee a year and a half ago.
Mm.
So, they were topsy-turvy. And so things were chaotic. And so what you want to do is we're always in chaos at some level. You want to make order out of the chaos. That's the overall picture. That's the overall picture. And so you
Yeah.
have to get the brain, okay, your mind back to order. So prioritize, make a list. Okay. If you want to make a list of things that's bothering you, do that. If you
And
want
don't
to
type it out either. Write it.
write it. Oh yeah, longhand. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, and start there. Pick the one you feel comfortable starting with. So a lot of people ask me about they say, "Oh, I can't go on a diet." Okay. I don't deal with diets. Okay.
Hmm.
What I do is I work with where you are. So work with where you are and pick one thing.
Hmm.
Okay. So life coach is one. There are some non-negotiables, okay, that you have to address. Sleep is one.
Oh, and that's one thing that screws me because I get up at about 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:30. I was on vacation all weekend and I was getting up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Hmm.
And it's like, what do I gotta do to sleep till 7? You
Yeah.
know, like, what
Well,
do
there
I
are
gotta
different
do?
things you can do, and I can address that. Healthy foods. So a good friend of mine and a colleague, she has a book called The Single Ingredient Diet. And it's not just you eat one ingredient. Excuse me. It's using foods that are not processed and combining them in recipes. And she's got recipes in there. And so it's a big book. It's over 400 pages, but
Wow.
you can read sections of it.
And what's it called again?
The single ingredient diet, and she used to be an attorney, and she quit her role as an attorney, I think in the 70s or 80s. Anyway, she wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. And so she is an author. She's written 9 books. Her 10th one is going to be released soon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Does she have narrators for all those books?
I don't
Or the
know.
audio book?
I,
I was
I don't
just
know. I
about to
have to
ask,
ask
man. We're
her.
always hustling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or I'm looking for auditions for the group, I'm always looking.
Absolutely,
Okay. I'll
absolutely.
keep that in mind. All right. Healthy foods, working out, but not working out to the point where you're exhausting your
Or
body.
hurt.
Yeah, exactly. You have to keep in mind what your limits are. Um, Now build working out into your schedule. Okay, build
Yeah, I
everything,
agree.
build your self-care into your schedule. Because if you don't, guess what? It doesn't get done.
Right.
So I have a tendency to do mine either in the morning when I wake up or around dinner time, either before or after dinner time.
Mhm.
And then during the day is my work time, my self-care time. And when I say self-care, I do anything I want.
Right. You need
And
that
I
time.
have to have that freedom. That freedom is really important to let our mind wander, to satisfy, we'll call it the ego, okay? But there's an intuition in there, okay? It's like, okay, what is my intuition telling me that I need to do right now? And that your body will talk to you. Strengthen your social relationships. If you're uncomfortable being around somebody, don't. It's that simple. So I emotionally divorced my mother many years ago because I told her something she was doing that was hurting my children and hurting me.
Mm.
And it had to do with my ex-husband and his family. And she refused to stop. And I said, okay. And I stopped talking to her. I told her, I said, well, she said, so what are you going to do? Not talk to me? I said, I have options. I limited my contact with her. I called her or sent her a card, Mother's Day and birthday. Okay. And that was it.
I love that saying, though. Yeah, I've got options. I
Yeah,
love that. I
exactly.
love
That's
that.
a good one, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It really is.
You can use that a lot in many
Thank you.
situations. Yeah. So,
Absolutely.
and now my sister's become a carbon copy of my mother. I'm cordial with her at family gatherings. Okay. And then I moved to a different part of wherever we are.
Hmm.
Okay. And so I just do it that way. Get support. So I
Yeah, I
mentioned that
think.
I have a support network, my colleagues across the country, and I can contact them anytime. So that is a really important aspect also.
Yeah, and like real quick too, Karen, like before we go further, everybody that's watching this, the group here is a support system. So don't be afraid to reach out to Jim. Be afraid to reach out to other members of this group if you need help. And you don't need to pay anybody to get that help. So just understand that. You can always reach out to me. I I don't mind helping people that are in this industry because I know how hard it is. We're all actors. Acting is really hard. It's a real hard thing to do. There's millions of us out there, and that's why you need to reach out. That's very true, Caryn. You need a support system, and don't be blind to it.
Yeah.
And actually, and a lot of y'all don't know this, but Brad and I reach out to each other a lot more, than people think
And we should
or
do it
know.
more. We should do it more often. I
Yeah.
got your home phone number. I
Right.
call.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then like I had a friend though, Caryn. It's funny. I have friends sometimes they'll go, "Well, just use my scheduler." I said, "You're my friend.
Right.
So I'm going to call you whenever I feel like it, and you just either answer or you don't answer. It's okay.
Yeah.
But I don't want to. I'm not. We're not like we might be business colleagues, but first and foremost, we're friends.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't
Absolutely.
ever hesitate to call me."
Absolutely. Yeah. That's great, Brad. So I mentioned self-talk. There are books, there are audios. Um, it- you can get so much information about self-talk. Last year, I did it was kind of a book study with the company I'm affiliated with, and it was called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. The
Mm,
author is Shad Helmstetter. It was actually written in 1982, and it's a wonderful book.
it
And it
sounds
has,
wonderful.
yeah, it has exercises in there. It's really good. So now I will get to the topic that Brad wanted me to talk about.
Well,
Yeah.
real quick, I'm sorry, Doctor. Real quick, before the little guy that you saw come in bring me a drink a little bit ago, that's Liam. He's 7 now. Every single morning, he runs into the room, lays down for another 2 minutes, gets up when he's brushing his teeth. His mom and I, we catch him talking self-talk in the mirror because we told him and he took that advice, and so he's
Oh,
telling
that's
himself in the
great.
mirror. It was so cool. He's like, "You're gonna have a good day. I love you." He's telling
Ah,
himself this, and
you're setting him up right.
yes, and the other two could give two shits about what, they're almost teenagers, but he's actually self-talk and it's like it's so awesome to see a 7-year-old doing that.
Yeah, if I could have learned that when I was young, or just
Same
like
here.
even when, like you say, you have those family members or somebody, you tell them something you're excited about, like, oh, that's not going to happen. Or, yeah, that doesn't happen to us.
Yeah, you hear you if you do it as an adult, you hear yourself saying the negative. And that's
Hmm.
how you know what's going on inside of you and what's holding you back from
Yep,
being
yep.
creative and from attracting the positive that you
Right.
want in your life. The more positive you are, the more positive is going to happen in your life.
Yep.
I
And I
think,
tell my
Okay.
kids every action starts with a thought. If it's a
Exactly.
negative action, if it's a negative thought, it's going to have a negative action. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm great. Those that can't do teach, they say. I'm great at teaching the kiddos, even though I'm going through my own shit. So I feel, as far as trying to let them know, the right things to do, I think I'm on the right path. But
Yeah. Yeah.
actions do speak louder
Try
than
doing
words.
it
So,
as an adult. It's different. It's different.
right.
Okay. I still have a hard time sometimes, and
yeah,
I've been
yeah.
doing it for almost 40 years. So
Recognizing that you have faults is a big step as an adult
totally. Accept
because a lot of people won't
accepting.
accept it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's talk about grounding. Okay. Grounding is actually a newer science. It's been deemed a newer science. It was discovered in basically early 2000. Okay. And what it is our connection with our environment. So when we walk outside, you know how good we feel. Although here in Wisconsin, we have winter. It's not so much fun for me. All right. I'm a warm weather girl.
Mm.
And so winters are a little hard on me. So the company that I work with actually has products that replicate those energies. So I used to get really down during the winter. And since I've been using these products, I don't get down anymore. So there's a
That's
gratitude.
interesting. You say
Yeah.
that because one of our members, Mo, she, whenever it gets cold during the winter, she gets like the winter blues or whatever. I don't remember what she said, but it really drags her down.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And so there's a gratitude for you. Okay. The tools that I use that help my um, attitude stay positive.
Mm.
Okay. I know I have something to rely on. So I mentioned that I live near high tension wires and a 5G tower. Those bother me too. It's just like the chemicals. All right. And I have that same reaction. And that's where the apartment building is. Any apartment building you go to, okay, it's going to have something. It's either going to be near traffic. I was looking at one that was in walking distance to a busy railroad track.
Oh, you'll hear that every night.
The noise you get, the exhaust. Anyway, so grounding, what do? Well, we need to touch the earth with our feet. Okay, we don't do that. So when I was growing up, now I'm going to date myself, we had leather soled shoes. We didn't have rubber soled shoes. Rubber insulates and it prevents us from getting the energy we're supposed to get.
Hmm.
And so we need to have that contact. Um, the energy from the air, all right, it has certain, what do I want to say, biochemicals, energies, okay, bioenergies. It's called biomimicry, the products that I use. So
Like
it mimics,
wavelengths, right? Like wavelengths of biology. Shit, I don't know.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So it's bioenergetic, okay? And and what it does is it provides us with the energies. We work in synergy with the earth, but we have not been working in synergy with the earth for years because we're inside, okay? Because we have all of these errant energies around us that are actually considered toxic. And we have the energy from the sun. Okay. I don't know about you, but when I have that sun shining on me, even if it's 0 degrees and I'm sitting in my car, okay, man, that feels good. Okay. There's certain energies that we get. Those energies help support our body. All right. Without those energies, we cannot flourish.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
all of those stress levels will be affected. So that's why they're so important. So, what are some ways to ground? Well, Brad, you like to go to the beach.
Hmm.
The beach is great. You get the water. Okay.
Started gardening too.
What?
Started gardening with my wife.
Gardening. Absolutely. And you know what? The aroma from the flowers, that will help support you. Um, so being in touch with the earth, being in touch with nature in any way. So the air in Japan, it's called Shinrin Roku. Okay. And what it does is it gives off oxygen. There are higher levels of oxygen. Okay. And Shinrin, okay, I may have that name juxtaposed a little bit, but Shinrin Yoku is what it is.
Sounds
Shinrin
Japanese
Yoku.
enough to me, so it's
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I
you
like
are
it.
Anyway,
correct.
I'll
You are
buy it.
correct.
Yeah, I'll
on one
buy it.
side, on one side of the apartment building where I am, there are trees separating us from, it's actually a car dealership on the other side of the trees.
Okay.
When I walk there, there's a walking trail, and when I walk there, I actually smell the difference. and I feel the temperature difference in the air from that foliage. It's amazing that, on one side I have this apartment building, and on the other side I have a forest, and
Yeah.
it's quite a dichotomy, and it's amazing how much better I feel. Um, I don't get it as much during the winter. Of course, I stay inside during the winter, but I have other things. So I have a light on right now, and it has it's an LED light, but it has those rays like the sunshine. Okay, so it's helping to support me. That's why I don't look like I'm blue. Okay, from the lights.
Yeah, that's the same
Yeah,
thing I got. I can't see shit 'cause I got all these lights that are daylight times.
yeah,
And then I've
yeah,
been out in the sun
exactly.
today, so it's
Yeah. And then I have an air purification system over here, and that gives off the air ionization just like Shinrin Yoku. So I'm able to breathe easier. The other thing is, you probably all heard that the Earth is a big magnet, right?
Hmm.
So I have magnets in some insoles that my feet are on. I have actually my earrings have a magnet in the back. Okay. Um, I have, so being a hygienist, I had a lot of issues with my hands and fingers. So these rings actually have magnets in them. Okay. And as well as the other energies. So they're helping to support when I touch the keyboard. I usually wear a necklace. I don't have it on right now. I have one on my back. A lot of people have back issues.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
And so there's something for the back. I'm sitting on a seat cushion that has all of those energies in it. I don't know how the company created these technologies.
Mhm.
They're a research and development company. It's not a product company. They do the research, they do the development, then they find a company to follow their specifications and
Manufacturing.
create the product. So they also have very high-powered nutritionals. And I'm telling you, my life would not be where it is right now without those, because
You have a grounding mat as well. You have your grounding mat.
yeah, my grounding mat I sleep with. Okay, and I've got another one. I was going to bring that, and I forgot to put it in here. I have been staying away from the computer recently, so I don't have that in here. But yeah, I do have the grounding mat, and the grounding mat. I can show it if you want me to go grab it. But
Sure. Whatever, if you want to.
yeah, I
Feel
know where.
free.
Oh, actually,
what's a
it's right
grounding
here.
mat?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think it takes like, I don't know if it absorbs all the metals out of your body or something like that, or it just takes all the crap out of your body. But she can tell you more about it. I know I used one when I was in the sauna over at Align Massage. They had the old, I don't know what kind of sauna it was. What the heck is it called? But anyway, they had the grounding mat on the
I
floor. You
keep
just
messing
put,
with the mic. It keeps moving on me. I gotta tighten it down. So
no,
that's
you're fine.
sorry about that. But yeah,
Oh,
Wife
so
just bought me a grounding pillowcase for Christmas,
that's
my
good
birthday.
because your head is on that. Um,
Yeah.
so
all right,
what's the
so
magnets? If you don't mind me at like, so like for my back, I don't. You said magnets may help. I was thinking the electric stuff I heard helped. I was fixing to. I don't know what to do. Hook a car battery up to
want
my.
to be careful with the electric stuff because you can get too much of that.
I was gonna hook a car battery up and just I don't know, do something to it.
No, I don't recommend that. No,
Light her up.
Light it, yeah, flip the switch, babe.
yeah, yeah. All right, so
Frankenstein.
here's my grounding mat. Okay, so what you see in here, these fibers are the highest grade of silver you can get. It's 20% silver in here, and it's woven into a fabric. Okay, the rest of it is nylon. And all you do is you put this on a part of your body that the skin is there. So using it here, okay,
Mhm.
I put it on my lap and I put my hands on it. And then it protects me. In fact, I just did, and I can actually feel the energy from it. I'm
Oh,
glad you
wow.
said something, Brad. I'm going to have to keep it out.
Yeah, and I have another question too, real quick. Like, you with grounding with your feet, what about your hands? When you get your hands in the dirt too, does that
Oh,
have any?
yeah, it will ground you. Yeah, you can go. So when I was growing up, you heard of the hippies, okay?
Hmm.
We used to hug trees.
Yeah,
Sometimes they still hug trees,
yeah.
okay? And that's why we hug trees because we're connecting with that energy. Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's good because
So yeah, all you do is you plug this end in.
So
It's
you're
got
okay.
this
So
one.
you're
This one
okay.
has a real long cord. It's 15 feet. And where's it? There it
So
is.
you're talking
Okay.
literal grounding.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I was an electrician for 6 years. Like, wait, this is 30 years ago. But
This is all right. So this goes into the grounding part of the outlet.
yeah.
So for people who are unfamiliar with that, because I run into that all the time. In
mhm.
a house that's about 40, 45 years old. Okay. If it's older than that, you really have to check it. Um, all of the outlets need to have that grounding hole in it, and they need to be grounded to the earth. It's a copper wire
Yeah.
that when a building is built, it has to have that copper wire inserted in the ground.
Oh yeah, it
So
does.
yeah, yeah, so that you don't automatically combust and go poof.
Oh no,
So
I've seen that.
so it's that little roundish hole underneath the outlet itself. Now, it's not electrical, it's the ground. The ground itself is not electrical. So all you do is plug this in, okay? And as I said, it's got a long leash. It's 15 feet long. And I put it on my lap. Some people put it under their feet. Um, some people will sleep on it, put it underneath their neck. And you can, if like
You could
you're
put it in your sauna. Like I could put it in the sauna and put it on the ground.
long as there's an outlet in there.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. Well, it's
yeah,
a 15-foot cord. I could probably run it out of that.
yeah,
Out of, yeah.
yeah. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. So anyway, that's my grounding mat. So when I first got this, I usually wake up once during the night just to go to the bathroom and I go back to sleep. And after I got this, my first night with it, I slept through the night for 8 hours. That is like unheard of for me.
Mhm.
Damn, I
Okay.
haven't done that in 20 years yet.
Yeah. Yeah. So it comes because it's grounded. Okay. It grounds you and your nervous system calms down. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So that's my grounding mat. And I know, Brad, you've had experiences with grounding. You want to share, what you've experienced?
Well, I mean, I don't know. The older I get, the more I appreciate nature, the more I appreciate the sounds of nature, the more I want to get outside because I'm stuck in an office or stuck in here all day. Or, a lot of voice artists that are stuck in their booths and I had like a 4-hour session and just in my booth, in the summertime, that gets hot.
Yeah.
And it's you got to get outside and smell
Yeah.
the roses. I've been doing a lot of planting and digging in dirt lately with my bare hands. And because my wife was like, "Oh, you don't want gloves?" I said, "No, I don't want gloves. I want to get in the dirt."
Yeah.
Because when I was a kid, you know, the neighborhood was being built, and we'd have mounds of red clay because I'm from Georgia, and I just get in that dirt, and I was like, I totally forgot
Yeah.
about that part of my life.
Yeah. We don't
You know?
realize as time goes on, there are subtle changes, and then all of a sudden life is so different than what it was years ago.
Yeah, and grounding slows. The older I get, the more I want to find things that slows down time.
Yeah.
It might not actually do it, but in our minds, like the beach, I don't think about time when I'm on the beach.
Right.
Going for a hike. I do a lot of yoga now, and I do hot yoga. That slows down time for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, and
That's
if
that.
you
That's
haven't
the
done
mind.
that,
Then you've
that's
got mind and body together. That's awesome. That's awesome.
so.
So The last suggestion um, is your belief and your faith. We weren't put on this earth to struggle. Okay. And I truly believe that.
I do too.
We have to continue to have faith that no matter what we go through, at the other end, there is a solution that's positive. When we run into what we consider negatives or problems, it's because we have a lesson to learn. And that lesson, once we learn it, will allow us to move forward. Our stress level lowers, and we can move forward in life. Now, grounding can actually, because it helps calm the mind,
Hmm.
it can actually help with that. All right, because once your nervous system settles down, then you can move forward.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, yeah, it slows. Yeah, because you can actually think clearly.
Exactly.
So absolutely, yeah, that's what. Yeah. Unfortunately, I have to take Xanax to do that right now. But ultimately, the goal is to. When the shrink said that I have to. There's parts of the brain that are completely fried, and there's certain medication I'm going to have to take. Which I take it as prescribed. I don't do all that crazy crap. But my goal is to lessen that and try other things at the same time. So
Yeah.
that's
They do work
sorry, there
together.
we go.
Yeah, they do work together.
Right, right, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, and I actually have a good friend. She had a liver transplant over 20 years ago. The longevity
Oh,
for
wow.
a liver is, for a transplanted liver, is about 18 years. And I think she's about at 23. And and so
Good for her.
she loves her grounding mat, let me tell you.
That is good. Heck yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. And animals love it. Okay. I have a good friend in Phoenix.
Yeah, you guys, Nikken has animal mats,
Yes, they
dog
do.
mat. Yeah.
They do. But the animals also like the grounding mat.
Hmm.
Animals, we can do placebos for humans. Okay. Animals, they have no placebo effect. They just know what's good for them.
Right,
And
right.
so that's all these technologies, from this company particularly, reflect it. Now, if you can get outside, great. That's even better. I mentioned that I like to go for walks. Brad likes to go for walks. Okay. Um, that's awesome. But what do we do when we're inside? What do we do when we're working? Brad, you mentioned being in a booth for 4 hours. That's going to unbalance you.
Hmm.
Okay. We have certain energy centers in our body, and they're supposed to be aligned. Being in a booth for 4 hours, they're not going to be aligned real well anymore. You have to realign them.
And you topple that with 2 hours of sitting right here editing all the audio.
Exactly.
That's a almost a full day.
Exactly. So of course, you have to take breaks. Okay.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Yeah, but we don't though. I mean, I'm going to be honest, Karen. I mean, I go to the bathroom. That's about the only break I do
yeah,
take, and I forget about eating a lot of times. I'll skip eating,
yeah.
and
And,
because you
and
want it, I like to get my work done.
yeah.
I don't
Okay.
like it hanging over my shoulder.
Yeah. All right. So that's a mindset. Okay. That's a mindset. I do recommend that people take breaks more
I tell
frequently.
myself it's going to be okay. I've
I
gotten
did
this
that
work
for
done
many years.
before.
Yeah, I did that
Yeah,
for many years, Brad. Okay. Like
yeah,
this morning, I had a 2 hour Zoom with this girl from the Small Business Development Center.
yeah.
And I knew that was a long time for me. So
Yeah, 2 hours is long.
I fortified
Yeah.
myself. Okay. I had my breakfast here. Okay. I had my tea. I had all of my technology on me. Normally, I wear a vest that has technology in the shoulders and in the rest of it as well. And I'm not wearing it now because it looks a little tacky. It's old. It's been loved a lot. Anyway, but I had that on and I knew it was going to be 2 hours. And so I got through it. Boy, I was discombobulated by the time we were done. Okay.
Yeah, because we'd have like these long script read sessions in a lot of these groups that we were involved in. Some of
Yeah.
them last 2 hours, and by the end of it, and it could be late at night too. And by the time it's 10 o'clock, I've had 2 hours. I'm like, oh my God, I'm just so tired.
Right. So all the other energies, the energy of the air, okay, the energy of the sun, those are going to help ground you as well. So the grounding mat particularly has the energy of the earth and the energy of the sun. It doesn't have, no, I take that back. It has all three technologies in it at one point or another, because there are negative ions in the earth. That's what a lightning strike does.
Mm.
Lightning puts negative ions back in the earth. Otherwise, it's a positive environment. And that actually, you mentioned, Brad, while I was getting the grounding mat, all the ins and outs about it. In the body, each cell has a charge. Some people may remember this from chemistry. A negative and a positive.
Hmm.
Okay. It also has a neutral charge, but we're going to talk about the negative and the positive. So the cells need a negative charge to be healthy. However, when there's an injury, whether it's emotional or physical, when there's stress, and as we get older, the electrons kind of die off. That's the aging process.
Mm.
Okay. So when people say, I'm getting older, they're not getting older. Their cells are dying. Okay. A little bit at a time. And so then what happens is the cell steals an electron from another cell because it has to balance. And that creates inflammation. Well, there's a lot of information out now about inflammation and how it's the culprit. It's not the culprit. All right. It's the result.
Result. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about fasting? Doesn't fasting help repair cells?
It depends on the person's system. For me, no.
My wife can't fast because she'll get nauseous and faint. And
That's how I am. That is a digestive disorder. Okay. And I know that because I have it. I've never been able to fast.
yeah,
And can I do it for a while? Overnight? Yeah. That's about it.
overnight. I can do about like I've done 23 hours.
Yeah.
They're talking about 100-day fasts, 100-hour fasts.
Yeah.
And that's like, I can't, how can you do that?
Some
But they
people
say the cells will repair themselves and a lot of good things will happen, but
not necessarily. Not each person is an individual with individual needs. Okay. And that's how I look at things. You cannot recommend something across the board for everybody.
everybody's different.
Anything on anything. And
Yeah.
that's why I don't recommend diets.
Well, diets don't last either. I mean, they're just like temporary fixes.
Yeah, they have to work with your lifestyle. Okay. And just as an example, so I have a client, she's just north of me. She was actually my first client in 2001, I think it was. And as I've learned more, I've introduced her to it. She loves the stuff that I do. And I work with her remotely.
And she refers you other people, right?
She does. She
That's
does.
good. That's good. That's
Yeah.
diamond in the rough right there.
Yeah. Yeah. She's great. And she was having a very bad digestive problem. They gave her medication. She didn't want to take it. So I said, all right, write down what you're eating for 3 days. Everything that goes in your mouth, whether it's liquid or solid, supplements, everything. I want to know. So she did that, and she sent it to me. All she did was she texted it. And we got on the phone after 3 days, and I said, okay, let's look at your list. All right, you're eating this. Okay, that's going to create some inflammation. And she said to me, well, what do I do? I've only got a half hour for lunch. And I said,
Mm.
oh, can you do this instead? And she stopped. You could almost hear her go, oh, and her body posture changed. And she said, yeah, I could do that. I
Mm.
said, great. And it was really simple. It was that simple. I said, instead of eating this, because the things that they tell you to eat, I'm going to pick my favorite. Okay. And this is like, don't do that. Tomatoes.
Yeah.
I know tomatoes are supposed to be good for you, and I'm sure they have some good ingredients. But number one, I will guarantee that every tomato on the face of the earth, if it isn't already, it will be GMO, which is genetically modified. There are markers, DNA markers taken out of it, and it's like a piece of plastic that you're eating, and the
Mm.
liver cannot digest it. Okay, it's a toxin. It creates inflammation. You don't want to do that.
Milk? What
Other
about
thing is,
lactose, like milk? Uh,
um, I'm from the dairy state, so Wisconsinites, please forgive me.
yeah.
Now, cow's milk is very difficult to digest.
Mhm.
Okay, I do goat dairy products. Okay,
Mhm.
and then sheep dairy is supposed to be good too, but I don't care for the taste of it too much personally. Um, but anyway, getting back to the tomatoes, they're very acidic. Acidity creates inflammation. We're getting back to looking at what's going on inside the body.
So even like pineapples, oranges, and stuff like that.
In moderation.
Yeah, I would say everything in
Oranges,
moderation for sure. Yeah.
yeah, oranges I don't recommend. They're too sweet. They have too much natural sugar in there.
Yeah, no wonder my kid likes them.
Yeah, exactly. Um, Pineapple okay with other foods that are not protein foods. So like I wouldn't do it with lunch meat or
Oh,
fish or
pizza.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can put it on a veggie pizza if you want to, okay? But again, I don't recommend flour products. So, it's like, okay, so what do I do? It's tricky. It's really tricky, but I've been studying it
Mhm.
for the last 45 years before I even got my PhD.
Mm.
So the reason I started moving in that direction, I have a son. And when he was 4.5, I actually figured out he was hyperactive and he had an attention span problem. That was before the terms ADD and ADHD came out.
Right.
I
Mhm.
believe that there is no such thing as adult ADD and ADHD. I am sorry if I'm offending certain people. However, um, it's a nervous system that needs to be rewired. Okay. When I say rewired, it means get the emotions out of there, fix your nutrition that are causing that short circuit. And I simplify because it is that simple. Okay. The answer is that simple. To do it, is it simple? No.
No.
Okay. You need somebody to help you. You need somebody to guide you. Don't do it on your own because you're going to give up and you're going to say, you know what? She's nuts. This doesn't work. And it does work. I've done it.
Right.
Okay. I used to be an emotional mess. And I will be the first one to admit it. And
Mm.
I am not like that anymore. I'm calm. Okay. I literally, we all have financial issues. Well, I've been going through them too. And I just go, okay, God, just take me where you want me.
And that's the key. We're not in control
Exactly.
ultimately.
Exactly.
Once we realize that, and it's hard. I mean, it's hard not to be in control and just believe that you're not in control.
Right.
There's no other option at the end of the day. You just got to give it, you know, you just got to let go. And I think like with your faith, and that's one of my positive affirmation words is faith or peace, and then fearless and confidence. Confidence is key in our industry
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
because
is.
if you don't, and confidence comes with time and practice.
Confidence is key in life.
Yeah.
It really is. I,
Like you said, speaking to other people,
yeah,
that was a fear of mine. I didn't like unless it was like doing this, going
yeah,
face to face. And I was forced into a situation recently where I had to go do it.
yeah,
And it opened up a whole new world. It made me realize that I'm real good talking to other people. I
Mm.
forgot the only way that was going to happen if being fearless and going to do that. I just got a job offer to do ring announcing again, and it scared the crap out of me. I don't pay-per-view ring announcing. I haven't done it since 2013.
oh wow,
Am I going to be fearful and let this opportunity go?
yeah,
Or am I going to take it on and say in my mind, I'm going to be victorious? This is going to be a great experience. I'm going to meet so many new people, and it's going to open other doors. Instead of saying, oh my God, this is what it used to be. I'm going to get up there. I'm going to forget people's names. I'm going to do this. I'm going to slip up. I'm not going to look right. I'm not going to sabotage myself anymore.
Right,
yeah,
And,
right.
whatever happens, happens.
yeah, yeah. So here's a little tip. So what you just said was, I'm going to be. Stated in the positive. That's affirmation. Okay. I am already.
I am. I am already a great ring announcer because I am the best looking ring announcer commentator on the face of the earth today.
Yes, exactly.
That always has been and always will be.
So one of the things that I do, so there are three brains in the body. Did you know that? There's the
Mm-mm.
cognitive brain, there's the heart brain,
No, I think we talked about this. Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah, I
then the
remember
gut
it now.
brain.
Hmm.
I actually teach a workshop, or I'll do it one-on-one, connecting those three brains so that you're aligned.
Yeah.
When you say, I am, you actually feel it, and you feel that confidence. You have that confidence.
And you just made me think of something else. I've been writing the positive affirmations down for like 5 years and I keep them all.
Mhm.
And now I'm going to put, I am confident. I am fearless.
Yeah, you have
I
to,
am giving.
yeah, you have to, the trick is you have to feel it in your body
Hmm.
while you're writing it. And many people have a hard time doing that because there's that voice in there that they haven't recognized yet saying, who are you kidding?
Yeah. It's taken me all through my 40s. I'm 49. I started when I was like 40 on this journey of like separating myself from the fire department, jumping into something new, changing my whole life. And it's finally, everything's kind of making sense. No,
Mm-hmm.
it is making sense. Not kind
Yeah,
of. It is
yeah,
making sense.
yeah. So
So,
we all have,
how can people contact you?
uh, you're welcome to put my information on there. My business name is Wellness Inspirations LLC. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. Um, I shut down my website.
No, it's still running, Karen.
Pardon me?
It's still running. I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
KarynWillens.com, right?
yeah,
See, there you go.
great.
See, positive.
Yeah.
Great.
I just
That's
clicked
awesome.
right on it. And are you still on Facebook and you're on LinkedIn and Alignable?
Yes. Oh, yeah, I forgot about Alignable. Yeah. I haven't done too much on there lately, but yeah,
I think that's how we met. Didn't we meet on Alignable?
we did. We
Yeah.
did in one of the networking.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. We did the breakout rooms.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That was great.
Yeah.
We've been friends ever since then.
Yeah, and all you listeners and viewers out there, if you want to do a one-on-one with Karen and get those three things in line with your mind, your gut, and your heart, I've done it. It works. It gets you realigned. And, Karen's really patient too. So she's just a wonderful person. And I like people that have battled through adversity in life and prevailed and come out on top. And, Karen, you really are the symbol for that,
Thank you.
you
I
know?
appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yeah, so I do a 15 to 30 minute get to know you. Okay. And Brad, I will send you my Calendly. link.
Okay.
Okay, because there's a link to that.
Yeah, I'll share it on the group page. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, and anybody who wants to can contact me. If you're going to text me, Brad, you're welcome to put my phone number on, but please text before you call because I don't answer phone numbers I don't recognize.
Do you have a business card that you have scanned you can send me?
Actually, that's what I was doing this morning with the Small Business Development Center. I
Okay.
developed a new business card. So
Okay.
that is in process. And on the back of that card is a QR code.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Smart.
I can probably email it to you too.
Yeah, just email it to me and I'll put that in the video. And everybody can see.
I can email it. And because I have to take it to the printer tomorrow and get new business cards printed up. So what that QR code represents is my company website, okay, for the products. There's a stress survey on it, and you can see how well you're doing.
Yeah, okay.
And it takes 1 minute to do this survey. It's not one of these lengthy ones where you have to jump through hoops to answer questions. And then when you do that, it will give you some suggestions as to what categories might be beneficial for you to address. And then when you put your email address in there, they will give you a little bit of a further explanation and suggestions. So I do recommend putting your email in there. I will get notified, and then I'll contact you and just thank you and offer for us to meet. So
Perfect.
yeah, I like being transparent about that because there are so many people asking for emails. Like, really, another one?
Right.
So I do that all the time.
Yeah.
It's like if I get to that page, I just go back and I don't put my email in because I get so many emails from different companies.
And it's just like it just gets that gets overwhelming too, and you just got to kind of like unsubscribe to a lot of
And
things.
the last thing we want to do is overwhelm ourselves because that makes life more complicated, more chaotic, and it's harder to create the order in our lives that we want.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I thank you for coming here and spending some time with us today. I mean, I think that even from the first time we did the interview to now, I feel like I learned more. And I feel like everybody out there watching this, just, reach out to Caryn. What do you got to lose? Just take a 15-minute one-to-one with her. It might open your eyes to a whole different world, and it also might help you battling whatever stressors that are going on running your business, especially in the voiceover world, because, hey, it's difficult. Next month, we got month of May. We're going to have John Duffin. He's going to be the director for our upcoming casting call session. Scripts will be available at the first of the month to audition for and record, and you send them to me, and we'll get that going. I'm also going to have Donna Grand on our show, and in our session, and she talks about giving back through cards, and she has a whole system of sending gratitude through cards. I like that much more than sending emails. I've signed up for it, and I'm checking it out as we speak. So we got a lot of great guests coming up, and thank you for your time, Caryn. Any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. What you said, Brad, you have nothing to lose. You have everything to gain.
And that's it. You got nothing to lose.
And remember, when the day gets long and shit gets real,
you gotta punch every day in the face.
Yeah,
That's right.
Flashback.
This has been a Brad Storm VO production.